Jess.
And Shell.
Welcome to Real Talk Tuesdays with Jess and Shell, where we talk voiceover.
And some other things.
Thanks for watching.
We're here.
So, Shell, I like the pearls.
Aw. Well, I figured since it's our first episode, I would get fancy. This is
You're
my
gonna dress
equivalent of
up.
fancy. I'm literally wearing my same outfit, my t-shirt and yoga pants and red pearls. So you're welcome.
And I had to find this. I was like, I know I washed it. It's in the laundry somewhere.
This may or may not be
What a
washed.
match. We're not going to try to match every time.
No,
It's just the
this
first
is
origin
real.
episode.
This
Yeah.
is totally real.
So today we're talking about origin stories. How the heck did we get into voiceover?
And why?
How do we get here and why?
And why, exactly. So why don't you go first, Jessica?
Oh, goodness. I started in college, and I was going to figure out what I was going to do in college. I opened a book and I was just looking at all the different majors and I was like, oh, broadcasting, that sounds amazing. I will do that. So I started off in broadcasting. I met my husband. He was with a band. We traveled the world.
In
And
college, you
then
met your husband?
no, sorry. In college, I did radio. I was the
Okay.
production manager behind the mic.
Nice.
Job in radio in Erie, Pennsylvania at a really small Christian radio station, and was midday announcer and production manager. They called me production guru. So that's kind of where I got my start, was at radio. And then
Okay.
I met my husband. We traveled the world, had kids, like big, huge gap there. And then I got behind the mic after doing a podcast. We
Okay.
started a podcast, and so I got behind the mic, and I thought, I had some really old commercials from my radio days. Well, why don't I throw it online, and started getting clients from there. So that's kind of, I know there's a lot
There's
of
a lot more we could
stuff
expand on in
there,
future
but
episodes.
yeah, origin stories. I started in radio years and years and years ago, and
Interesting.
traveled
It's
the
so
world
funny
with a
because
band.
because a lot of people say that they start in radio. I did not, but that's interesting.
Tell me your origin story. How did
Okay.
you?
So mine is far less worldly, far less travel. I pretty much confined to Massachusetts. I've never left the state. Well, I mean, I might have left it, but I came right back. I've never lived anywhere else. My origin story. Okay. So in a nutshell, and again, maybe we expand on these later in a future episode, but my origin story is I kind of accidentally fell into being an actor, and then I accidentally fell into being a voiceover. I was working as an executive administrative assistant at an insurance company, completely stood out in this environment because obviously I'm not an insurance person. And a murder mystery company was coming in to do a retirement party, to perform for a retirement party for the whole company. And one of their actors was sick that day, and they reached out to my human resource department and said, is there anyone in your company who's funny? And she nominated me to help them with a sketch. And I was mortified because I'd never performed. I never
Did
did
you
any.
think you were funny? Everybody
Well,
thought you
I
were
mean,
funny.
clearly I'm funny, but no,
You're
no.
hilarious.
Well, no, I mean, I guess, in retrospect, yeah, I would be the one in the hallways. It's insurance. Anyone would be funny, right? I would be in the hallways telling a story, just like I tell a story, and people would be laughing. You should do stand up. And I'm like, yeah, that's never going to happen. But she nominated me, and I don't think I felt like I had a choice, truly. So I helped them with the sketch. I don't know how to this day I was brave enough to do that because I'm in front of all my coworkers and all my bosses and stuff. I mean, it was like a bit part. It wasn't like a lead role or anything. It was literally like I was a makeup artist. So I had to come in with a powder puff and, pretend to take the shine off the lead actor who was like this drama queen. And anyway, long story short, I did it. I don't know how. And their head guy was subbing in that day, and he was like, you were really funny. Do you want to be an understudy in our public shows? I was like, what is this is when you had nothing to do with this, right? So suddenly I became an understudy, and then she went to New York and became a big deal, and I became the lead, not the lead, one of the ensemble in this murder mystery. And for 25 years I've been doing murder mysteries and improv shows every weekend, and for this company in different characters and creatures. And
Still
then like
doing insurance, or you left insurance to go
while doing insurance. Yeah, I was always on the
while
weekends
doing
and nights.
insurance?
And then about 5 years into that, I was like, "Oh, I want to get into animation because I love all the characters and creatures I play." And so I thought, "Oh, I'll do that." And I fell into voiceover only to do that, not thinking my regular voice would be anything that anyone would buy. And then I accidentally started getting hired for regular stuff with that. So that's my short in a nutshell. So like clearly I had zero to do with that. So
That's amazing though, because people are like, "How do you get into voiceover?"
yeah, I
Well,
know.
you start in murder mystery. First, you need to be in a murder mystery show in Massachusetts.
First, you
So
need to be working as an administrative
move,
assistant. You have to be funny in the hallways. And then they have to, and
and then they
then
have to make you do
mhm, powder
murder
puff.
mysteries for
Yes.
25 years, and then you can become a voiceover
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah. And then so I became so I got laid off from a different job. I always had a full-time job. I got laid off from a different job in 2013, and we will tell our first studio like in another episode because that's actually a pretty funny story.
Because
But
these are not our
this
studios,
is not
right?
my
Like, these
original
are
studio.
new as in the
No.
last you
Yeah,
just
no.
got yours.
Yeah. Like this one
Yeah,
I
that's
just
another
got.
episode.
That's another episode, but like
That's
my
another
first
episode.
studio is pretty darn funny, and I've kept a piece of it with me all the way up to this studio. So, anyway, I've been full-time for 10 years now. So how about you?
Full-time for, I don't know,
Yeah.
7, 8 years,
Yeah.
I would say.
Okay. So that's
As far as,
the
like, that's
nutshell.
what's supporting our family, part
Yes,
of what's supporting our family
correct. Yeah.
is doing this, so
Yeah. So much more to say on that, but I think we'll save that for another
we'll
time.
save them for
That's
other
just like the
episodes.
little feet wet.
And if anybody has any questions, we are open book. This is real
Yes.
talk. We're
Yes.
talking
Yeah.
real.
We're going to have different subjects each week, and we'd love any questions from you so that we can add that to our repertoire. So I'm such a dork. Okay. So anyway, hey,
It's the
Jess,
hallway. It's the hallway funnies.
thanks for watching.
See you next time.